Dipat?
What were you telling me?
That one, we'll talk about it on the side.
All right. Okay, let's see what is fresh off the press this morning.
We start off with the Standard newspaper. Of course, he knew, and the man on the front page here is the energy seers, that is Opiyo Wandayi. Broad-based experts, they call him. A near catastrophic fuel shortage in late March exposed deep failures inside the Energy Ministry, with documents showing Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi was fully aware. Copies of every critical letters and meeting minutes from the onset of the crisis to the March 25th approval of substandard fuel was sent to him. Now, he knew Gulf Energy's cargo failed Kenya's quality standards, yet backed an exemption allowing higher sulfur, manganese, and lower octane fuel into the market. He was also aware the inflated premium of 255 USD/MT against the G2G's 84 USD would add 17 shillings and 49 cents per litre. Yet, despite pushing the country to the brink, he defiantly remains unmoved, perhaps hoping the stinking failure will just go away as Kenyans pay the price by moving on. This story is on page 4. Ministry of Energy's technical committee has been quoted here. They say based on optimistic and peak demand, the projected super petrol cover days for Kenya and the region is 11 days. The country would likely run out of PMS from 30th March 2026. Now, this story has been trending throughout the holiday season, the Easter holiday. We've seen people resign because of this. They call it, there's a term they've called it, a not quality oil, quote unquote. And turns out that the energy seers was aware, according to this newspaper, which has also been covered extensively on page 4, how Gulf Energy failure to deliver fuel forced Kenya into costly deal. Will G2G scheme keep fuel prices down is also another question they're asking on page 5. And they say energy sector bosses were arrested last Saturday over alleged manipulation of data. And the president says the government-to-government initiative will protect Kenyans from high prices.
This is a very interesting story because, first of all, the question of the political dynamics with this.
Yes.
The president went directly to the head of not the public service, the civil service, right? This is Felix Koskei, as it is right now, to implore him to check on this matter. And that's when we saw now the firing of officials from KPC, EPRA as well, because of this scandal. But looking at where we are as a country, and you know what really happens when the fuel prices go up. I mean, no one needs to tell us or yet to regurgitate what has been there before. Everything is bound to go up. And it's a matter of security, you know, concern. When it is upset and the livelihoods go up, people will go to the streets.
Yeah.
Right? We saw what was happening in Nigeria. I mean, also this really threatened the administration of President Tinubu, right? When people were saying, you know, there is an issue with first of all, the subsidies that were taken off, and the prices just, you know, bloomed and flourished, and it just went beyond control. And it was chaos. So what is really happening here is, Kenyans, do we also learn the question that should be asked? When we had the COVID-19 pandemic, people taking advantage with the clammy fingers of corruption to try and take advantage of that sensitivity, because everyone now is on the basis of fear and trepidation. What is happening, of course, to us? What will happen to our future? Are we going to survive this? This is currently what is really happening. And we saw what happened. People would now circumvent the processes, right? So you don't have the process propriety, procurement, financial propriety or regulation, you know, followed. So you will now justify, because of the current stalemate. Can we go beyond even the G2G arrangement? Let's go for direct procurement And so people just want to take advantage of this. And I think this is very sad as a nation, that we really seared our conscience to the realities of a day, of how people are really suffering, and how something that can be such a flashpoint and potentially dangerous as fuel being, tinkered with.
Right. It's also important to know that, of course, a ship carrying a G2G stocks, that is oil that we should be having, docked at Mombasa port yesterday. So maybe that will be some sort of relief to the nation.
So I think also for me there is this political dynamics on this with the UDA, ODM arrangements. Then if you really fire one die, what are the political implications currently? So there's this sensitivities. So you're walking sort of on an ice floor, right, on eggshells as it is right now.
All right, that's the main story given prominence on the front page of the Standard this morning. On page 2, they talk about teachers cry foul of a SHA cover as Mwangangi defense package. Teachers have been crying foul of a SHA ever since it was launched.
Well, they had the Edu Afia.
They had Minet as well.
Yes, so Edu Afia seemed to have been working well for them. So they wonder what really happened to it. Why was it really scrapped? How has this not really shaken into place as the other one, was credibly working for them.
Of course, drama festivals, I don't know if it has culminated, but it has been mentioned on page 3. They say Battle of Titans, as students tackle societal issues at drama festivals. They say learners staged powerful plays addressing pressing social concerns, from parental neglect to gender-based violence. That's a story on page 3. And on the back page of the Standard, stand and fight like a real man. That is, Arsenal Spanish goalkeeper David Raya is warming up ahead of their match against Southampton. Sputtering Arsenal face test of character in sporting clash. Madrid hope Champions League magic holds Bayern juggernaut. And that's the Standard this morning.
Indeed, and we have the Daily Nation right now. You've talked about drama, and it seems this is the splash on the front page of the Daily Nation today. Echoes of silence. That is a splash. You remember the echoes of war. With now. But then he was he no?
Malala.
He had resigned as the deputy.
He had resigned.
He had resigned by then, yes. And this is what we have on the front page of the Daily Nation. Echoes of silence. And the flag reads, casualty sources say a play by Moi High School, Mbiruri, has been knocked out for referencing Singapore. Paranoid regime. This is what we have as the Kikahia School and College Drama Festival rules have been revised to impose a sweeping ban on a political messaging in a development apparently responding to a last year's controversy around the play Echoes of War by Butere Girls that authorities blocked, sparking public outrage. Playwrights say the new directive barring what is described as political propaganda or ridicule of public officials is a suppression of freedom of expression and dampens creativity as this year's national competition opens today. You have a story on page 4 and 5 of the publication today, carrying that story. And you can see a crowd that had gathered around the Butere Girls, if you may remember there. Tear gas being lobbed because of the contentious, of course, script that was provoking the government in the wrong way. You can see an insert there of the thespians. This is the Echoes of Silence. You look like you used to be a thespian yourself.
I was. How did you know?
Right. Drama club.
You can tell. Am I that dramatic?
So, you're that dramatic. You ask critical questions. Yeah, we don't like people who ask critical questions. Yeah?
I was, and I used to thrive at it. I was a very good performer.
Oh, really?
I really, really wish somebody would put me on stage, even at this stage in my life right now. I would really deliver. I have, they call it FOMO, fear of missing out. I've done it actually even after university. I did it a little bit, at Kenya National Theatre.
Oh, really?
Where you go and do some plays here and there. I would. Even
but
now.
even I'm a very good actor.
You look like it. You look the part. You look the part.
Yeah, so maybe we could do something.
We can.
Yeah, this is another talent that has not been scratched on
Yeah.
So we need actually to work up on it and see if we can
We'll talk
bring
to
out
Cape
something out of
Studios.
it.
We'll talk to Cape Studios to rope us in.
Ah.
Yes. Yeah. The one and only Cape Studios.
Story yet.
All right. We'll talk to them. Other quick headlines here.
Yes.
heist.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I'm being
Face of
taken back on track here. I can see NYS highest face of impunity. Right. This is as the chief inspector of the National Youth Service in 2015, Nicholas Juba Makoha was among the suspects who faced charges related to the theft of 791 million shillings. But the suspect was acquitted on technicality, and Makoha rose to become Deputy Commander General. Now, the suspended official is under a 510 million shillings corruption investigation. That is on page 10 of the Daily Nation. We don't need to say more. I mean, it just speaks for itself. Self-explanatory.
Let's cross over now to Taifa Leo, due to the interest of time. Mtihani mgumu wa Sifuna, they call it, njia panda. Katibu mkuu wa ODM ana kibarua kigumu cha kufanya maamuzi ya busara ambayo huenda yakaamua hatima yake ya kisiasa. Wachanganuzi wasema ana nafasi finyu ya kusalia ODM, huku tiketi ya useneta wa Nairobi ikionekana kumwendea Jalango. Akibuni chama na awanie ama akibaki chama na awanie, wadadisi wanasema atagawa kura za upinzani na kumfaa Ruto mwaka ujao, na vilevile akijiunga na upinzani huenda akapoteza Gen Z. Kweli mtihani mgumu kwake Sifuna. Anasema kwamba seneta wa Nairobi anakabiliwa na kibarua kigumu cha kuamua chama atakachotumia na kiti atakachowania mwaka ujao. Taifa Leo asubuhi ya leo tuangalie gazeti la Business Daily.
Biashara iko hapa. How 3 insurance collapsed with 3.4 billion shillings clients claim. How 3 insurers collapsed with 3.4 billion shillings clients claims is what is on the front page of the Business Daily this morning. And it's all focusing on Trident, Cusco, corporate insurance and statutory management. Amount owed to 20,852 policy holders. And you can read the rest of the story there on page 2 of the publication. Also, boon for electric vehicle dealers as state orders 600 units is another story that you want to follow there. This will be a good handy opportunity for EV vehicles in light of what is going on with the fuel prices.
Yeah.
On the ticker, banks shift billions to infrastructure. Telecom drops to the 5th largest telco, overtaken by Jamii. And you want to read the rest of the story inside the publication today. That's the Business Daily. All
right. People Daily, how Ruto turned defiers into compliance, the ghost of opposition, and Kenya's new silence, they call it missing in action. This is a story and an analysis they've done on page 4 extensively on the People Daily this morning. On the top strip, Egerton University in trouble over hijacked 2,000 acres of land. And of course, they make mention of Kwale Kaya Forest, which is set for restoration under 30 million shillings climate project. And that's the People Daily. The Star.
All right, the Star.
I have it here.
Yes.
Today we don't have a physical copy.
Yeah, I don't have the physical copy with me.
Railway City to turn Nairobi into a glitzy business hub. They say project to decongest city by expanding and restructuring CBD. Here the Central Business District has really changed. Have you been to the CBD?
Yeah, I've been to the
Do you go to the
but
CBD?
It depends where it has changed, which side.
The area around, Archives, where that toilet was at. I hear right now it's just strictly cabros only. It looks so lovely. It looks like the new New York. New York of Nairobi.
Yeah.
That's the Star this morning. Let's cross over now and take a look at the regional dailies. And we start off in Uganda. Daily Monitor, making of Gaba killing suspect. Who is he? Investigations reveal that Christopher Okello Onyum, born in Zambia to Ugandan parents, had tried his hands in pharmacy in the US but failed. Then tried taxation before turning to Ugandan in 2016. Now there is a daycare in Uganda that was attacked and some children there were killed, and this is what this story is talking about.
It was a very disheartening story there.
Yes.
And we wish the family our deepest sympathy and sincere condolences as well for little children to be attacked. It really goes to show what a society we've really come up to be.
Yeah.
Losing our conscience, even to helpless children as well, to just take care of them. I think that was heart-wrenching.
Absolutely. That's the main story on the front page of the Daily Monitor this morning. It's also the story covered on the New Vision as well. Daycare attack on and teachers narrator deal, and Museveni gives families of deceased babies 10 million shillings each. They're all here as well on the front page of the New Vision. Gazeti la Mwananchi Tanzania, paroko alivyonusurika kifo madhabahuni. They say padre asimulia uvamizi ulivyofanyika, ibada ikiendelea, wanakwaya wawili wajeruhiwa, mvamizi aliingia kanisani na panga, awawa kwa kipigo, na polisi yaeleza hatua kwa hatua. The Citizen, what to expect as LATRA stakeholders set to meet. With fuel prices reaching historic highs, the Land Transport Regulatory Authority is set to meet transport stakeholders tomorrow to discuss fare adjustments and the challenges the sector is grappling with. This is as far as Tanzania is concerned. Let's come back home and take a look at the caricatures now. We start off with